What's up, you guys? This is GamerJ101, and today I have a Dark Souls 2 commentary for you. I got to beta test to play the game for about 20 minutes before they shut the servers off because I don't think they were actually supposed to be on yet. But I managed to get on, play for somewhere close to 20 minutes, and then I got kicked off. But this is the footage I got. I actually uploaded just the gameplay footage with no commentary just before this video. So if you guys haven't seen that, you want to see the gameplay without commentary, without obstruction, without anything like that, just go to the previous video. I talked a little bit in the beginning to discuss just one or two things, but that can be skipped over easily. So, because the only thing I really discussed was what you're seeing right now. You're not missing much. But right now, I'm going to discuss the game, how I saw it, how I played it, and the differences I saw in the game compared to Dark Souls. Now, first and foremost, this game plays so differently. The control scheme is generally the same, but I can't describe it very well, but it feels very different. It feels a lot smoother, but at the same time a little clunkier. I don't know how to explain that better. It has its clunkiness, but it has its smoothness too. It's a little weird. It definitely feels different. If you go into this game trying to play it like Dark Souls 1, you're going to get fucked up. That's what I tried to do, and I didn't really get fucked up too much, but I think it's because I was fighting easy enemies. And, yeah, it was weird. It's definitely a much different feeling compared to Dark Souls 2. The combat, in my opinion, felt a lot closer to Demon Souls than it did Dark Souls. But it didn't bother me too much. The parrying, I didn't actually get a successful parry off, but I did the movement and everything for it to see what it was like, and it's different too. I can already tell right away that there's a window. It is a very different feeling because the window I'm talking about is like the parry in both previous games. It's not like, it was like you hit the L2 button or left trigger on Xbox right before the shield or the weapon hits your shield and it would parry. This time you actually have to time it correctly so that your shield parries the attack at the right time. I think I do a parry movement here in sometime in the video. You'll see what I mean when I do the movement. But, because I didn't get any successful parries, I don't think I actually even tried. I actually got parried in PvP. Somebody parried me. They invaded me. I almost killed them. They healed and then they parried me. I didn't get killed by the parry and riposte, but it was pretty intense. But yeah, like I said, this game plays a lot differently. It doesn't feel the same. And it's just different. One thing I do want to point out, I'm going to start noting the differences now, and things I noticed that are different from previous games. One, in the upper left corner where the humanity counter is, I still don't know what that is because the game made no explanation of that. I imagine that'll be better explained in the full game. But right below it, you can see something that appears to be an hourglass, and this is because I'm summoned. That is my time limit in this world. You probably can't see it very well on a YouTube screen because I'm not recording with a full HD capture card, but I'm doing my best to keep it at the highest quality possible. But when you're playing on the actual screen, you can actually tell how much time you have because it is actually going down like it's an hourglass. Each 3 weapons and shields and whatnot in each hand, but you still have to keep in mind your equipment load. So bear that in mind when you're equipping weapons. And one more thing, in the bottom left corner of the screen where your Estus flask is, you can see when you're swapping, you can see what the next item is going to be right below it. Right below the weapon itself, you can see what the next item is going to be when you switch to it. It's not like that for the weapons, but it's like that for the items and the spells that are attuned. I had no spells attuned because I didn't play with a mage, so I just played with the warrior because I think it's cool. I like the warrior. But maybe it's just because this is the test, but the enemies seem to take a lot of damage. I don't know, maybe it's just me. But yeah. Anyway, in the left side of the screen while you're playing, right there, you can see your summonees health bars, so you can actually tell if they need to be healed. Now, one very, very big difference to summoning is the phantoms, or in this game they're actually called shades, I think. But the phantoms can actually heal themselves with Estus flasks now. Now, the reason that they did that is that the host cannot heal them with Estus flasks. Everyone is fighting for themselves in this game. You don't have to rely on anybody to heal you if you're out of healing items. I don't think the item limitation is limiting you anymore except for very specific items. but you actually have to take care of yourself as a phantom now, which is a very different thing. And also, you, like I said before, you have a limited time to spend in the game, so it's going to be very different. Anyway, moving on. One more thing I noticed, as a summoned person, as a phantom, your health bar is lowered as if you were hollow. Because if you look up in the corner, you can kind of make it out, that little thing that's blocking my health bar from going all the way up to its maximum potential. And that's because I'm a phantom. I think if you're, they did mention that if you go hollow and you die as a hollow, your health will get lower and lower every time you die as a hollow. So, and there's actually no benefit to being hollow anymore. The biggest benefit to being hollow in Dark Souls 1 was that you could not be invaded. That is no longer the case in this game. You can actually be invaded as a hollow. I'm still debating whether or not I like that. I think it'll add a lot of challenge to the game, but once the game gets into its life cycle where the PvP has become routine, I don't know if I'll like it anymore. I mean, sure, when this game first launches and playing through it for the first time, I'm pretty sure I'm going to love it. But if I just want to go PvE without the invasions, but I still want to summon people, I don't know if that's possible. But we'll see what happens. In any case, enough about that. The art style for the HUD seems basically the same, and yeah, that Phantom, I think he fell off a cliff. I don't really know. One difference I do want to point out is that, well, it's a minor difference, but when you're going down a ladder, in Dark Souls 1, it was hold down circle to slide down it. You'll see me do it here in a little bit, actually, but I actually jumped off the ladder instead of sliding down, which kind of threw me off, so you guys want to be careful about that. There might be some long ladders where you can't survive the fall, so you might want to just be careful about that. I actually almost walked off the edge right there. But, yeah. Okay, I'll talk a little bit about the weapon movement, or not the weapon movement, but the attacks, like the R1 and the R2. For that right, yeah, see right there, that's what I'm talking about. I jumped off. The R1 attack for that greatsword is that horizontal swipe. Now, this is actually a very big difference for me, is that even when you're locked onto an enemy, if they're moving, you're not going to follow their movement the same way you used to. And in fact, you'll see me struggle here in a little bit to hit my enemies because I keep thinking that the lock-on is going to help my sword follow their body, but I miss like 2 to 3 times before I actually hit my target because it doesn't follow them anymore. You actually have to time you actually have to be careful with your hits. You actually have to know when is the best time to swing it, and you actually have to really think about what you're going to do when you're attacking because it's a very big deal. I think it's actually right here. See, right there, yep. I missed because I misjudged, and then I missed again because I misjudged again. I was wondering why I was missing, that's why I kept swinging. It was just ridiculous. It is a very different game. A lot of people said the game looks like it's kind of floaty feeling, and I gotta say, no. This game, if anything, it feels heavier. It feels a lot heavier than Dark Souls. I feel like I move slower. Yeah, I just got fucked up. I feel like I move slower, and I feel like I attack slower. And then he backstabs the guy. I feel like I move slower, I feel like I attack slower, and I feel like I'm in danger a hell of a lot more often. Now that's how I felt the first time I went into Dark Souls, but in that game I was just, I kind of knew what to expect after watching some YouTube videos here and there, but at the same time, you can't really get a good gist for the game until you actually play it. So, I gotta say this is a very good example of that looking and playing difference. Looking at the game, watching it, is a very, very different experience than it is to play it. Because playing it is just, I don't know how to put it into words, it's just a much different look on the game. You see the game in a much different light when you actually get the chance to play it. And I was just lucky enough to get a beta code. So, yeah. I didn't see any options in the bonfire to warp or anything, but I imagine that's simply due to the fact that this is also just a download beta. What else is there I can talk about? Okay, and about me, since I'm doing the summoning here, as the summoner, it's different because when you have two summon friends, you do see their hourglasses over their heads just like it was before. There will be no hourglass there when you're the summoner. So, yeah, that's just a minor thing. Oh, by the way, fat roll. Yep, that's the fat roll. I noticed something that I wasn't actually doing a fat roll when I was a summoned person, when I was the one being summoned. Either that or I was and I just couldn't really tell. But that's what it looked like to me. That looked like a fat roll. Oh, by the way, this game is fucking dark, by the way, so don't be ashamed to turn up your brightness. I'm just saying. Because, oh my god, I couldn't really see half the time. It is called Dark Souls, but it's a little too dark. Yeah. Like, in this area is one of the examples. Now, also, I'm going to talk a little bit about the PvP, because I didn't get a good example of it in the previous video. Or not the previous video, but the previous PvP area, because we were kind of just ganging up on that guy. And I was lucky enough to get a backstab on him. But, I actually get invaded here, and my guy kind of just ditches me. Fucking asshole. But, I can't really complain. It was actually really fun. It didn't feel like the PvP in Dark Souls 1 at all. It felt a lot more fun. It wasn't like super try-hard serious. I don't know. I didn't really... He healed before I did, so that kind of killed it for me because I knew I was fucked after that. But at the same time, I can't really say it bothered me because, I mean, me and that guy, we don't know this game. So going into it like this and then just trying to fight it out without really knowing what's going on around us, it's a very different feeling. The PvP in the Dark Souls 1, people came up with this whole honor duel crap, and I never abided by that. I play the game how I want to play if I pay for it myself. So, yeah. I got a great axe here. I was trying to equip it, but at first I was a little confused as to how to read the parameters, but it became pretty clear after I actually started looking at it. It's not too different from Dark Souls. There's still the elemental things and the requirements. It's just they're in different places. So it's not really too different. But the maximum Estus flask that I could hold was 5 in this. And I don't know if we could actually, like, increase the... I was trying to see if that was an invisible wall. It totally looks suspicious, so I don't know. I think I hit another wall up here because I think it looks suspicious, but yeah. I was all trying to look out for illusory walls like Dark Souls 1 because, well, obviously, you know those were big deals. Maybe those will be illusory walls in that main game, but maybe not the beta test. That's always a thought. Yeah. Okay, now let me talk a little bit about the Great Sword, because I'm sure a lot of people want to know a little bit about its attack pattern. The first R1 attack is a vertical swipe, and I really hope I'm getting the word vertical correct as an up and down. And horizontal, and the second one is a horizontal attack, as you just saw there. That's the double R1 attack for this weapon. I didn't really get the chance to test it with two-handed because I didn't really try. But the R2 attack is just a straight horizontal attack, and it does do more damage. So, it's good to kind of clear out a little area around you, but it doesn't really knock enemies back as much as I thought it would. So, you don't really get a whole lot of clearing space, you just gotta be careful. Oh yeah, I noticed that the UI down there, in the left corner, actually disappears as you stop using it. Well, it doesn't really disappear, but it kind of like goes in like cards, I guess I would say. And it just goes into one square to kind of clear up the UI for you. And I got invaded right here, and then he would just happen to be out there. I'm like, son of a bitch. I had a bad feeling that something like that was going to happen. And it might look like I had this situation under control every now and then, but I guarantee you, I did not. I was panicking hardcore. I was just freaking out on every possible level. I had no idea what to do. So, trust me, I did not have this under control in the slightest way possible. I was just trying to be as aggressive as possible. And now this is concerning me. This is a great sword, and I don't think I even made that guy stagger. How does the poise system work? Because I actually didn't really get the chance to look into it. And I get parried here in a little bit. I tried to two-hand the weapon and he parries me. You're going to see a parry and riposte. And I gotta say, I don't care that I got parried and riposted. I love the way that it looked. It actually looked a lot more brutal. Right here. He knocks me over and then just... God. I like the parry riposte. Now, I can't wait to see that with different weapons. And I'm fat rolling, so it didn't really help me. This is where I started to panic. I was trying to back up, try to get some space to heal, but I'm pretty sure he knew that's what I was doing. But, yeah, thinking about it now, I should have jumped down there to that staircase right there. I knew if I had jumped off the ladder, I would have got killed by fall damage because I had no health left. And I was trying to backstab him right here. I thought I had the situation under control, but I had no stamina. I wasn't paying attention to my stamina like I should have, and it was messing me up bad. It was really hurting me. Yeah, that was pretty unlucky, but I gotta give that guy props. It was a good fight. But yeah. Alright, I know this was a lot of rambling because it was hard to get a good feel for the game in only 20 minutes of playing. But when I actually get the beta test, I'm going to record it from start to finish, and you guys will see a lot of footage from that when the actual beta test comes out. Unless, of course, I get copyright strikes and bullshit. But if you guys like the video, please leave it a thumbs up, and if you like the content I'm putting out, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. When Dark Souls 2 releases, I will be putting more Dark Souls 2 content out. Alright, I hope you guys like the video. Peace out.